Okay, day 8-ish? 9? Let's go with 9. Let's go with 9 because day 8 was full of more fail and frustration, and mostly just playing games of a similar vein to see how they worked. And hi, by the way. Okay, so I've just finished putting the touches on a lot of things to do with my block generation script. Let's go through them, okay? So remember my big long block generation script? It's no longer that long, and in fact it's going to be even shorter by the end of today, because I am going to rip this section out of this generation script, turn it into a function that calls correct things out of a table and stuff, and that should be awesome. And then we basically, all we have are a couple of functions, which should be good. Also, I need to somehow figure out a way to fix this function, but let's get into it. I've commented out a whole bunch of stuff. This, honestly, like I said, we only just finished putting the finishing touches on everything, and it should work. So let's get into it. So right now I've got these two functions. These will be replaced. No mind gen will probably still exist, but gold gen will just be block gen, and block gen will go through all the randomized assorted stuff. So basically, no mind gen is this stuff. Hopefully I can do this without triggering. Oh, there's like a 4% chance. Okay, it didn't happen. There we go. It generated that block there. We can jump in and have a look at that. So it generated these two blocks here, and in fact it would have generated one more there and one more there as well. And that's basically what that does. It grabs a clone of the no-mind stuff and it puts it in the parent of no-mind. Because remember that our miner only targets blocks that exist in the currently initial blocks folder. We'll of course be changing that name later on. Now we've turned our table check into its own function. We had to do this. So this has been the thing that has been throwing my brain like the entire time. Was like I didn't really understand functions very well. Like I didn't even understand how to get things from them. So I was doing things like I filled in this no mind gen like with X, Y, and Z and stuff like that, but I didn't pass it with X, Y, and Z. So I don't know. Heck, I don't even know if I need this here. I may not. We won't fiddle with that for reasons, but it doesn't really matter. Basically, we have got these set up, and now we've stripped out the table generation and table checking, which is basically telling us whether or not a block is present in an XYZ location. We've stripped that out, we've turned it into a function, and that enables us to simply return block present equals true, if there is a block. So basically, go through these, which are a block doesn't exist, a block doesn't exist, a block doesn't exist. If a block does exist, do this. I'm trying to think of a way that... Yeah, no, shy of being a little bit weird and throwing... Like, I think we could save a little bit of time, generational-wise, if we check first for XYZ. If we check for this existing as true, then returning, we can kind of skip a lot of the table checking for pre-existing stuff. We'll have a look into that later. That's efficiency stuff, and honestly, our script is pretty efficient. Sorry about the train. Okay, let's get into vein stuff. This is the new section. Okay, and it's currently a little bit rigged, where we'll need to, of course, bake it into things. It's got a very flat percentage right now, whereas we want individual ore to have individual percentages and so on and so forth based on a table, once again. But let's just see what it does, right? So function vain stuff. When vain stuff is called, get the XYZ stuff from the thing. Print vain check. I just want it to show up in my output. I'm showing a lot of stuff in my output right now, but we can strip that all out. That was all for troubleshooting purposes. Cannot further make statements about how important it is to do these print checks. Then what we do is we get an integer. So random equals RNG next integer between them. If random is that, then funnily enough, I think I'm doing this inefficiently. I think I can combine this into like if RNG next integer 1 to 100 is less than or equal to 20. That might work, but we'll give it a shot. Anyway, so then basically what it does is it goes, is there a block present in the x plus 6 axis coordinate? I don't know why I keep saying axis. Well, x is an axis, but x plus 6 yz coordinate. If there isn't, let's put one in there. So 20% chance for this to happen. And then we do it again for x minus 6. We do it again for y plus 6, y minus 6, z plus 6, z minus 6. Now, the only way that I can think of how to turn this into like just pretty much more or less this many lines, you know, maybe a little bit more, tiny bit more, like 1 or 2 more lines, is to create a table with these values. And then do a repeat 6 loop or a while loop, whatever, because it needs to be done 6 times, and just each time it gets the next thing in the table, or like a for IV in pairs loop. Sorry, that would be far easier for IV in pairs, because there's 6 entries in the table, and then you just do that script for each entry in the table. I think that's going to be the way that we end up doing it. I just when I'm coding the functionality, and basically I just want to put it in with the most basic code that I can, and then factor that down. Anyway, 7.5 minutes, haven't shown anything. Let's hurry this up, because these tend to go crazy. And then here's how the script looks. I think we've still got this 4 loop to do the generation. We're going to get rid of this soon and instead switch to a if x is equal to 36 or z is equal to 36 or y is equal to 0. We're probably going to change that to y is equal to 6. So that way everything will be on the same level. Then we can have that impenetrable roof going, basically. Right now it's an open roof, but it will eventually be just impenetrable. Then we do the same thing that we did before, which was get the ores. Like I said, we'll be truncating this down, but if it gets gold, we'll turn it into a vein. Alright, so this is the thing that to my knowledge, no other mining game does. No other mining game does the biomes. Mining Simulator kind of does now, not when I first started playing, with like independent levels that you teleport into with their own shops and stuff like that, and I'm just like, no. So instead, we're going to have those all in one sort of realm that you can mine through. Especially because, like, I love Mining Simulator. I think it's a fantastic game. Like, there's almost no reason to mine in most of the other sections, except for novelty purposes. They put so much focus on the base mine in the base area that, like, the values aren't significantly better elsewhere. And, yeah. I stopped it. I didn't need to stop it, but that's okay. Let's see if this functions. Hopefully it does. So we're just going to start on the edge here. Cool. And we're just going to go until we hit a gold block. Now, right now, the block generation, the vein generation script doesn't have a Y cap, so it will. It just doesn't currently. So if it does freak out, ooh, we had it hit, and it generated a second gold block, but it only did that once. So okay, let's keep going until we find another one. And I just want to show that both of those are mineable. So yep, nice. Okay, we had hit another one. This one unfortunately didn't get a random, which is this is unlucky. There we go. Look at that sexy beast. Look at that. Yeah. Now that is pretty awesome. So eventually this will be with all ores, except that basically I was thinking of things in one of two ways. I either wanted to have it so that way, and I may still do this in addition. I either wanted to have it so that way, as you got deeper, the amount of the thing, the amount of the ore in the block increased, or there was a random sort of assignment of that. Because, like right now in a mining game, you're mining this giant block of silver, let's say, and you get 1 silver and it's worth this much. Okay? And even in Mining Simulator, which goes, you know, as you get deeper, you're mining more sand, okay? Let's say, or more stone, okay? So you might be at the layer where you're mining 1,000, and you might have a pickaxe or whatever that's 1,000 stone, like every hit, okay? But when you find an ore and it's just 1 off that ore, and I'm like, well, couldn't it be more than 1? Like, couldn't we increase that a little bit? So the way that it's going right now is, of course, like this, which I think is really awesome. And basically, so what it's doing is it's generating only off of the direct adjacency. So up, down. Think of it like this way, that way, that way, that way, towards that way, and towards that way. So it's only doing those directly adjacent checks. So it's never going to give you a diagonal. All right. So you'll never have this block here generated. And so okay. Let's use this for example. This block would not have generated if this block or this block didn't exist. Yep. And in fact, oh crap. I knew that would happen. So yeah, so it generated, so how it generated it was, and I should have done that before I got rid of all this. Okay, well, let's mine around it and hope we don't hit, oh, we hit another gold. Did we generate anything off of that? We didn't. Cool. So essentially what happened is it generated this block, okay? And then it did 5 20% checks. And in one of those 20% checks, it went, yes! And it generated this block. And then it did that again. And then it did that maybe here. I think actually, yes, it would have done here first. No, it would have done here first. So it would have done here first, and then maybe it did this, maybe it didn't. Then it would have done here, and then it would have done here and was doing all this stuff down there. Then it would have come back and done this stuff, let's say. Which is pretty cool. And it works really quickly. The only reason that this script number is getting out of control is because of all the prints. If we removed all the prints, this script number would get down to a much more manageable and realistic level of 0.05 or 0.06. Probably even less than that. So, yeah, I'm pretty stoked. It works really, really well. And to show it off a little bit better, even though it will kind of throw things a little bit weirdly, let's celebrate it. Let's throw it in here. Let's remove the rest of the prints that we've got going. Let's remove these. These are no longer useful. This is no longer useful. Oh, all these prints happening anyway. They're not happening along there. Ah, here we go. We're printing that. Which is giving us the nils and the trues. Cool. So without that, the only thing that should be presenting is vein check, which is okay. All right, let's stop that. Let's play it again, and now it's going to generate like crazy. This is just going to look insane, and it's probably not even going to be pleasant, given how frequently the generation will be spiking. So it will spike on every... Well, there you go. Look at that, straight away. Nice. It would have also spiked on this, but clearly nothing generated from it. Or maybe something did, who knows? There's another one. And you're going to get, with this sort of a generation script, at least with 20%. Actually, something weird looked like it happened there, but... Huh. Oh, that looked cool. Yeah, so there we go. Look at that. That is an example of how insane the event generation script can get. And now that did take us a long time. So yeah, we will definitely be putting a cap on it. Oh man, but yeah, if we we may not even put a cap on it, honestly. I can think of ways in which we can add weights in after the first one. And then just let it go out of control. So after the first loop, throw a weight in, and yeah. So what we would do is when it's first called, yeah. So when it's first called, so when we do vein check here, then what we do is, yeah, we would then throw in a weight here. Okay? And then that would mean that it would stagger out a little bit. I wonder what that would look like. So we're gonna check that out as well since we're here. Because why not? I hate that I have to do this 6 times. I can't wait to throw in the rest of it. Enter home, paste. Enter home, paste. Okay. That should be it. I do apologize about the snoring cat. Okay. Oh look, it's already got some... See, there we go. It generated it out. So it took far longer to finish, but it should have had much less impact on the overall stuff. And the idea being that that weight will provide it with... I'm just wanting to do this sort of first person. Yeah. It doesn't seem to be... Okay, it does seem to impact my things a little bit, so... Alright, I'll have to look at ways of making that work in a way that's really... like, that doesn't have a limit on it, because I love the potential for it to just go insane. But also see what I can do. Just to sort of minimize its impact. Clearly, I think it might be, I don't know. We'll fiddle with this off video. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry for all the construction noise, the cat snoring, everything that's going on in the background. But yeah, we finally got veins working. Next up, caves, which shouldn't be a problem now that I've got this working, because so much of both the cave and the vein generation script are fairly similar to one another, so it shouldn't be a problem. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.